I planned the perfect anniversary trip, but when I arrived early, I found my wife in the cabin with my best friend, laughing like they'd never once thought of me. My name's Nathan Harper. I teach sophomore English at a public high school in Tacoma. I grade papers with a red pen and carry a thermos like it's religion. I'm not flashy, not loud, but I remember everything. Every birthday, every quiet glance, every lie too smooth to be accidental. Hannah's always been the opposite of me. She's confident, polished, the type who runs boardrooms like chessboards. She's beautiful in that way that makes strangers turn around, but at home, she wears oversized shirts and steals all the blankets. For 10 years, we've played the perfect couple. We had inside jokes, anniversary playlists, rituals. I thought we were unbreakable. We didn't have kids. Not yet. We told ourselves we were waiting for the right time. Truth is, I think we both liked the quiet. The cabin was supposed to be our place. Remote, mist-covered, tucked into the Washington mountains, where the fog creeps slow and the nights are pin-drop silent. I bought it 6 years ago after my first promotion. I'd bring her there on long weekends. She'd read by the fire while I chopped wood like a cliché. We called it ours, even though it was under my name and I paid every dime. 10 years of marriage. I wanted to celebrate right. Champagne, firelight, fresh snow if we were lucky. So I set everything up, stocked the fridge, ordered the flowers, synced a playlist to the speakers. And 3 days before we were supposed to go, my phone buzzed. Motion detected, back porch camera. It was mid-afternoon. I was at school, sitting in the teacher's lounge, eating a sad ham sandwich. I figured it was a bear, or maybe another elk trying to eat the trash again. But something made me check. I opened the security app, let the video load. A silver Jeep pulled into the gravel. At first I smiled. That was her car. She must have wanted to surprise me. Maybe she went early to decorate. That's so like Hannah, I thought. Then the passenger door opened. Troy Dawson, my best friend since junior year of college. The guy who got me drunk before my wedding. The guy who helped me build the back deck on that cabin, swearing every time he bent a nail. He stepped out with a duffel bag slung over his shoulder, smirking. Then came Hannah, hoodie up, sunglasses on. No hug, no kiss. Just a casual, familiar rhythm as they walked up the porch together. And they were laughing. Not nervous laughter. Not polite. The kind of laughter people share when they think they're safe. The kind that's real. I didn't move. Didn't breathe. Just sat there, frozen, as I watched him pull out a red cooler, set it on the steps, then fish a key from his pocket. My key. He opened the door like it was his place. They disappeared inside. The video ended. I tried not to lose it. Told myself 1,000 excuses. Maybe she needed help setting up. Maybe he offered to drive her up. Maybe I'm being paranoid. So I texted her. Me. Crazy day here. You surviving the office? Hannah. Barely. Meetings nonstop. I'm counting down to the weekend. Love you, Red Heart. Meetings. She was supposed to be at her office in Seattle. The timestamp on the video was 3:12 p.m. So she lied. She was already in the cabin. With Troy. Laughing. Using my key. I sat in my classroom until the bell rang, still staring at the screen. That night, I rewatched the clip 5 times. And the last time, I saw something that made my skin crawl. Troy brought 2 toothbrushes. The cabin door creaked open, and I heard laughter. Not hers alone. I parked a quarter-mile down the road, turned off the headlights, killed the engine, and listened. Nothing but wind and distant birds. My hands shook a little as I reached for the bag in the back seat. Champagne, flowers, a card I'd written weeks ago. 10 years of marriage. And now I was sneaking up on my own celebration like a man checking for ghosts. The trees were damp with fog. The gravel crunched under my boots, louder than I wanted. My heart was thudding. I could still turn back. Could pretend I never saw the camera footage. Could drive home, show up like normal in 2 days, act surprised by whatever bullshit story they'd spin. But I kept walking. The porch came into view first. Same red cooler. Same muddy boot prints. I crouched low beside the woodpile, just under the window. The inside lights were on. And I heard them. Laughter. Low voices. Muffled, but close. Closer than comfort. I edged around the corner to the kitchen window. No curtains. There she was. Hannah. Wearing one of my flannels, sleeves rolled up, holding a wine glass. She was barefoot, hair down, and laughing. Eyes crinkled, head tilted. The way she used to laugh with me when we first fell in love. Troy stood at the stove. Cooking. He He was flipping something in a pan like he owned the place. Like this was just a normal Tuesday night in their little mountain hideaway. My hands gripped the edge of the windowsill, nails digging into wood. She touched his back as she walked past him. Not a hug, not even a full second, but it was enough. Intimate, familiar, not the way you touch someone's shoulder for balance, the way you remind someone they're yours. I backed away slowly, heart in my throat. Every step felt like walking through wet cement. I didn't go to the front door. I didn't barge in. I walked back to the car, sat behind the wheel in the dark, just breathing, trying to stay calm, trying not to cry, not to scream, not to drive off a cliff. I pulled out my phone, opened the security app. The feed was still live. I watched them again, from a different angle. Troy tossing logs in the fireplace, Hannah curling up on the couch, then her legs draped over his lap. That was it. Not some flirty game. Not a misunderstanding. Not a setup for a surprise party. They were together, in our cabin, 3 days early, celebrating something I wasn't invited to. I drove back down the mountain that night. Didn't sleep. Didn't call her. Didn't confront him. Just stared at the footage. Downloaded it to a hard drive. Made copies. Sent one to a private backup folder I named Anniversary. I could have ended it right then, but I didn't. Because something in me, some twisted, burning thing, wanted to see how far they'd take it. Wanted to let them lie to my face one more time, so I could return the favor. I still can't believe we're getting away with this, Troy whispered. I was hiding in the shed. My shed. The one I built 2 summers ago with sweat-stung eyes and a throbbing back, cursing the splinters and mosquitoes. Back then, it felt like a stupid project. Now, it felt like a gift from God. I hadn't planned to go back up the mountain. Not that soon. But the lies kept stacking. Hannah texted me that night, said she was working late again, followed by some excuse about her manager flying in from Chicago. Meanwhile, her Jeep was still at the cabin. So the next morning, I called out sick, threw my camera bag in the trunk, and drove. This time, I parked even farther. Walked through brush and trees like I was trespassing on my own land. The shed was unlocked. Dusty. Smelled like old gasoline and pine. But from there, I could hear everything. And I recorded it all. They were in the living room. The one with the stone fireplace and the creaky floorboard Hannah always told me to fix. I pressed record. Troy, you sure he's not suspicious? Hannah, laughs Nathan. Come on. The man still thinks I'm planning a romantic getaway. He's bringing champagne. Troy, well, hell, I'll drink it. Hannah, you'll be gone by then. Troy, pause, right. Of course. Hannah, this isn't forever, Troy. You know that. Troy, yeah, just weird. Playing house in his little mountain palace. Hannah, you like this place, though. Don't lie. Troy, I like you in it. Hannah, laughs again smooth. I shut my eyes. Every word felt like a blade being sharpened. They weren't just cheating. They were comfortable. Like they'd done this before. Like this cabin had been theirs for a long time. Only I'd never gotten the memo. I wanted to scream. To burst through the door and knock his teeth into the hardwood. But instead, I kept the camera steady. Because I knew what I was building now. Not rage. Not tears. Evidence. Narrative. Closure. Troy said something then. Something that made my blood freeze. Troy, you ever think about telling him? Just ending it clean? Hannah, and lose everything? The house, the car, the reputation? No thanks. Troy, I'm not nothing, you know. Hannah, coldly, I didn't say you were. But let's not confuse fun with forever. That's when I realized something else. She wasn't in love with Troy. Not really. She was using him. He didn't know it yet. Not fully. But it was there. The cracks in his voice. The way hers went sharp when things got serious. She was in control. Just like always. And she was playing us both. I left before they noticed. Slipped out the back, boots wet with morning dew. But I didn't just take my heartache with me. I took the SD card from the security system. And the audio file from my camera. I left without being seen. But I took more than just my broken heart. The sun wasn't even up yet. I waited until their lights went dark. Until the laughter stopped. Until the sounds of clinking glasses and footsteps above my head finally gave way to silence. I stayed in the shed the entire night. Sitting on overturned crates. Cold, stiff, jaw clenched so tight it felt like my teeth would crack. I didn't sleep. Just listened. Every creak, every whisper, every muffled moan that drove a nail deeper into my ribs. I had what I needed. 2 hours of audio. A hard drive full of motion-triggered camera footage. and a spark of something colder than rage burning in my gut. I didn't want to confront them anymore. I wanted to ruin them. I slipped out while the sky was still ink black. No birds, no wind, just that thick forest silence that makes you hear your own breath like an accusation. My truck was parked down the ridge, hidden behind a fallen pine. I moved fast, quiet. Before I left the property, I did one last thing. The cabin has a backup system, cloud storage, synced every 12 hours unless manually wiped. Most people don't even know it exists. I did. I wiped it. Every trace that I'd been there, gone. To them, I'd still be the clueless husband showing up on Friday with champagne and a speech about forever. I hit the highway just before dawn. Didn't go home. Didn't go to school. I drove south, checked into a cheap motel under a fake name, and opened my laptop. Watched the footage again. Slowed it down. Cataloged every word, every smirk, every moment her hand brushed his. The way they talked about me like I was a prop. A background character in the drama of their lives. I started cutting the clips. One folder titled Lies. Another, Anniversary. The final one, Proof. It didn't matter if anyone else believed me. I believed me. The camera didn't lie. The mic didn't lie. They did. Over and over. And soon, everyone else would know it, too. Around 10 a.m., my phone buzzed. Hannah, hey babe. Just got to work. Exhausted already. Can't wait for the weekend. Hope your morning's easy, red heart. I stared at the message. Work. She just got to work. She'd spent the last 14 hours at the cabin, wrapped in a blanket next to my best friend, drinking wine in my living room, falling asleep in my bed. The audacity was almost impressive. I didn't respond. Instead, I called a florist. Ordered the same bouquet she loved every year, deep red peonies and white lilies. Scheduled for delivery to our house Friday morning, with a card that read, for 10 unforgettable years. Can't wait to celebrate everything we've built. Nathan. I wanted her comfortable, relaxed, believing every lie she told me was still working. Because when I struck back, it wouldn't be in private. It would be with witnesses. I told her I wanted to host something special for our 10 years. She smiled like I was the best man alive. That smile used to mean everything. Now it just told me how easy it was for her to lie. I sat across from her at our kitchen island, sipping coffee, pretending to be tired. She was in her robe, hair damp from the shower, flipping through her phone with one hand, stirring yogurt with the other. I was thinking, I said casually, what if we had a little celebration before the cabin trip? 10 years. It deserves more than just the two of us. She didn't look up. What do you mean, like a dinner? A party, I said. Something low-key. Just family, close friends. A little surprise for you. Now she looked at me. Her eyes lit up. A surprise? Wait, you want to plan something? She teased. That's usually my job. I smiled. Let me take the reins this time. I'll handle everything. You just show up. She leaned over the counter and kissed my cheek. God, I love you when you get romantic. My stomach turned. By that afternoon, I created a group message. Harper 10, surprise anniversary bash. I invited her parents, my parents, her boss, Julie, my brother and sister-in-law, a few of our friends from college, even Troy's girlfriend, Laura. That one felt poetic. I gave them the pitch. Don't mention anything to Hannah. She thinks it's just a quiet getaway. But I want to make our 10-year anniversary unforgettable. Just one night. Dress nice. Toast welcome. I'll handle the slideshow. Red heart. The responses rolled in fast. Her mom. Oh my gosh, Nathan, this is so sweet. She'll be over the moon. Julie. I'll be there. And she definitely deserves a party after this quarter. Laura. You're such a good man. Troy's gonna be shocked we pulled this off behind her back. LOL. Oh, he'd be shocked all right. That night, Hannah cuddled up beside me in bed, head on my chest, soft breaths, like everything was normal, like she hadn't been in my cabin 2 nights ago with the man who once toasted our marriage. You're being quiet, she whispered. Just tired. She kissed my chest. I'm really excited for this weekend. I need it. I didn't say anything, just stroked her hair. Let her believe it. Let her drift into sleep thinking she still had both of us wrapped around her finger. The next day, I made the final booking, the cabin. Again, just for one night. Thursday before the official anniversary weekend. I told her it was a pre-celebration. Something private, just us. She ate it up. I'll meet you there, she said, smiling coyly. I want to get everything ready for you. Of course she did. I booked the same cabin again, for one night only. Just enough time to bait the trap. It was a Wednesday morning when I got the confirmation email. Cabin reserved. Thursday, 3 p.m. to Friday, 11 a.m. Same mountain. Same house. Same windows that watched them lie. I told Hannah it was a surprise pre-anniversary escape. Something intimate before the big party she didn't know was about to be anything but. She bought it without hesitation. God, that sounds perfect, she said, standing in front of the mirror, fixing her earrings. I've got back-to-back meetings Thursday, but I'll leave early. Get everything set up for us. I watched her apply mascara in the reflection. She looked calm, content, like the betrayal wasn't eating her alive. That told me everything I needed to know. I drove up Thursday morning, early. Stopped at a craft store on the way. Bought a roll of gold ribbon, paper lanterns, a string of battery lights. Grabbed a card that said, "To 10 beautiful years." It was absurd how normal it all felt. By 11 a.m., I was unlocking the cabin. Same smell, pine wood and cold air. But it felt different now. The fireplace was still charred from their last visit. The wine glass she used was still on the shelf, faint lipstick stain at the rim. I picked it up, turned it in my hands. Then I dropped it in the trash. I set the place up just like she'd imagine I would. Flowers in a vase on the table. Champagne chilling in the sink. Candles. 2 plates. A fresh playlist queued on the Bluetooth speaker. A slow, romantic kind of heartbreak waiting to happen. Then I moved to the bedroom. On the dresser, I placed a folded note that said, "Read me." Inside it was just one line. I saw everything. Nothing else. Let her find it. Let her think it was from Troy. Or from God. Let her heart spike just enough to wonder what had slipped through the cracks. But the real preparation was the equipment. I mounted a small projector behind the couch, hidden behind some decorative logs. Synced it to a Bluetooth clicker I'd keep in my pocket. A slideshow titled, "Our Story, a Decade of Us." The first few slides? Sweet. Wedding photos. Vacations. Our first apartment. The dog we had before he ran off. Her laughing at a birthday dinner. Me building the cabin deck. All memories I used to cherish. Then, slowly, the tone would shift. A photo of the porch camera feed. A still of her arriving with Troy. Screenshots from the security app. Then the audio. Their voices. Their laughter. Her saying my name like it was a punchline. It would hit mid-toast, just when everyone thought the love story was peaking. That was the plan. Elegant. Devastating. As I finished setting the lights and stepped outside, my phone buzzed. Hannah, leaving work now, red heart, see you soon. I didn't reply, just sat on the cabin's front step, staring out at the misty trees, letting the cold wind bite at my face. I wasn't sad anymore. I wasn't hurt. I was ready. I have a meeting, she said. I'll meet you there. That was the lie that sealed it. She stood in the hallway, heels clicking against the hardwood, coat draped over her arm. Lipstick just a little too perfect for a Thursday. Perfume that didn't match her usual office blend. I leaned against the doorframe, coffee in hand, pretending not to notice the second bag she'd packed. Sleek, black, smaller than the one she took on work trips. The one I'd seen in the cabin footage. The one she thought I'd never recognize. I'll probably be up there around 4, she said, smiling like nothing in the world was wrong. Don't forget the champagne. I kissed her forehead. Wouldn't dream of it. She walked out the door like a woman headed to a celebration. And in a way, she was. As soon as she left, I pulled up the feed. Back porch, motion detected. Front drive, no activity. I knew the timing. I'd memorized her route. It took her 2 hours if traffic cooperated. It had been exactly 17 minutes. And then, motion detected, drive. Troy's car. I watched as he pulled up the winding gravel. Parked where I had 2 nights ago. Opened the trunk. Another duffel. Another cooler. His old denim jacket zipped to the chin. Then Hannah's Jeep pulled in behind him. Almost on cue. She didn't wait. Just got out. Walked up to him like they were meeting in their own private world. She touched his chest. He leaned in and kissed her. Casual. Like it wasn't betrayal. Like it wasn't my house. My weekend. My life they were unmaking. I let the feed run. Recorded every second on my laptop. No hiding this time. No shed. I was already parked at the neighbor's property line, hidden just far enough to stay out of sight, but close enough to see the truth unfold through the trees. Troy pulled out a bottle of wine. She laughed and kissed him again. I could hear it all through the synced mic. Clear, unfiltered, raw. I texted her. Me, everything good? Just leaving now. Hannah, yep. Just got here. Fireplace is on. Can't wait to see you face blowing a kiss. I stared at her message for a long time, then typed 2 words I knew would haunt her later. Me? I know. I didn't send it. Not yet. Let her get comfortable. Let them think they were safe. Back at the cabin, the candles I lit were still flickering. The cards still on the table. The slideshow still queued, quiet and waiting behind the framed photo of our wedding day. Hannah thought this night was going to be just the 2 of us. She had no idea what tomorrow would bring. Because tomorrow, the guests would arrive. The toast would begin. And I'd finally give her a surprise she'd never forget. This time, I didn't hide in the shed. I stood at the window with my phone recording. The irony wasn't lost on me. Same cabin, same porch, same pair of liars wrapped in each other like it was their private retreat. But this time, I wasn't the ghost outside watching through glass. This time, I walked right up to the window and hit record. They didn't see me. Not yet. They were too busy slow dancing in the living room, barefoot, her head against his chest. The wine bottle half empty. Her flannel shirt unbuttoned just enough. The same one I saw her wear with him before. I could see Troy's lips move. Couldn't hear it, but I could guess. Hannah laughed again. Touched his face. That laugh. The same damn laugh she used to give me when we were young and poor and sleeping on a mattress on the floor. Now it belonged to him. Except it didn't. Not for long. I stepped closer. Just outside the glow of the porch light. Lifted my phone. Captured the whole thing. Them dancing, swaying, her hands slipping lower on his back. Then I texted her. Me made it. 5 minutes out. I watched her phone buzz on the coffee table. She broke from the dance, walked over, and read it. Then she stiffened. You could see it happen, the realization. She turned toward the window, toward the front door, toward the possibility that I was here. Troy grabbed the wine and plopped onto the couch, oblivious. She didn't tell him. Just turned her back to the window, picked up her glass, and smiled like nothing had changed. It was beautiful. The panic behind the performance. The silent cracks forming beneath her skin. I stepped off the porch before she saw me. Drove to the neighbor's cabin, same plan as before. Left the lights off. Camera still rolling. She texted back 10 minutes later. Hannah, yay. Be careful, roads are slick. Fire's on, and I'm wearing your flannel smiling face with smiling eyes. The audacity was beyond belief. But I didn't feel anger anymore. Just focus. This was the last lie. Tomorrow, she'd be standing in front of everyone we know. Smiling. Toasting. And I'd be there too. With proof. Just say a few words about our love, I told her. She smiled, completely unaware. We were standing in our kitchen, 2 mugs of coffee between us, steam curling up like nothing was broken. She looked at me with those big, rehearsed eyes. The same ones that convinced me 10 years ago she was the safest place I'd ever land. And now? She looked like a stranger I knew too well. I mean, she said, laughing nervously, you're the writer. You should be the one giving the speech. I will, I said softly. But I want people to hear from you too. Just a few words. About us. What we've built. She bit her lip, her flirty, confident pause. God, you're really going all out with this. I smiled. You deserve it. And she kissed me. Like she meant it. Like I hadn't watched her kiss Troy on my cabin porch less than 24 hours earlier. By afternoon, the group chat was blowing up. Her boss, Julie. Do you want me to bring a gift, or is this just vibes? My brother. You sure this isn't a vow renewal? Laura, Troy's girlfriend, excited. Troy's being cagey about the cabin. Hope he's not planning something dumb. LOL. I nearly choked reading that one. Oh, Laura. I hope you wear something stunning. At 4 o'clock, I picked up the projector. Had it tested, charged, packed neatly in a box labeled slides. Do not open. I wanted everyone to see it all at once. No leaks. No spoilers. The venue was booked. A private room at the lodge down the mountain. Intimate, warm, high ceilings and soft lighting. 50 seats. A wall for the slideshow. Champagne on ice. Everything perfect. Painfully perfect. That night, Hannah laid her head on my chest and told me, I still can't believe you did all this. I didn't answer. Just held her. Counted the heartbeats. Waited. The first slide was a photo of our wedding day. The last was from the cabin, 48 hours ago. She stood beside me, smiling like a woman being worshipped. Everyone was already seated. Her parents, my parents, old friends from college, co-workers she used to brag about me to. Julie, her boss, was at the front table sipping white wine. My brother was taking photos. Troy's girlfriend, Laura, sat alone. Troy? Running late, apparently. Perfect. I welcomed everyone with a speech just cheesy enough to pass as sincere. 10 years is a milestone, I said. Some days it feels like we blinked and got here. Other days, it feels like we survived a war. Laughter. Even Hannah laughed. She leaned in and kissed my cheek, whispering, "You're killing this." I nodded. Just wait. I walked over to the laptop, took out the remote clicker. The lights dimmed. Slide 1. Our wedding day. Hannah in white. Me in black. The wind catching her veil. Smiles so bright they look fictional now. Slide 2. Our first apartment. Tiny kitchen. Pizza boxes. A selfie on the couch with our dog, Milo. Slide 3. A vacation in Maui. Sunburns. Snorkeling. Her leaning over the balcony in a blue dress I still remember the texture of. Slide 4. Our cabin. The one I built piece by piece, staining the floors by hand while she read books by the fire. The crowd was warm, nostalgic. She reached for my hand. That's when I clicked again. Slide 5. Hannah's Jeep. Timestamp. 3:12 p.m. 3 days ago. Slide 6. Troy stepping out of the car. Slide 7. Hannah, laughing, walking with him up the steps. Confusion rippled through the room like static. Her hand tightened on mine. She whispered, "What is this?" I let go of her hand. Slide 8. Porch camera still. Them dancing. Slide 9. Zoomed-in image of their kiss. Gasp. Someone muttered, "What the hell?" She turned toward me, white as the wine in her glass. I stepped forward. "This," I said, "is still our love story. Just not the one anyone here expected." She shook her head slowly. "Nathan." I clicked again. Slide 10. Audio waveform. Then her voice filled the room. "He still thinks I'm planning a romantic getaway. Nathan? Come on. The man still thinks I'm bringing champagne." You could feel the air evacuate the room. "This isn't forever, Troy. You know that." Hannah took a step back like I'd slapped her. Laura stood up, eyes wide, shaking. Hannah's mom covered her mouth. My dad whispered, "Jesus Christ." And me? I stood calmly beside the screen, watching everything burn. "To love, to loyalty," she began, beaming, right as the footage behind her lit up like a funeral pyre. It was almost poetic. She stood under the soft glow of fairy lights, holding a champagne flute in one hand, the mic in the other. Her voice clear, confident, trained from years of presentations and perfectly filtered Instagram stories. "I just want to say," she began, smiling at the crowd, "these 10 years haven't just been a marriage. They've been a partnership, a friendship, a love I thought only existed in stories." I watched her motionless. She didn't know. The clicker was in my pocket. The laptop was synced. The slide was already queued. "I'm so grateful," she said, locking eyes with me like we were still pretending. "To the man who has always put me first." Click. The screen behind her flickered. From a photo of our wedding. To the porch camera. Troy. Her. The kiss. A ripple moved through the crowd. Some gasped. Some turned away. She paused, blinking. Nervous smile. "Sorry, I think the slide shows." Click. A still from the living room. Her legs over Troy's lap. Click. The waveform. Then audio. "He still thinks I'm planning a romantic getaway." She froze. The mic dropped from her hand. The room was silent except for the soft hum of Betrayal now playing from the projector speakers. Julie stood up. "Hannah, what the hell is this?" Troy was still near the door, staring, jaw slack. He looked like he wanted to disappear. So did she. I stepped forward, picked up the mic, cleared my throat. "To love," I said. "To loyalty." I turned to face the room. To truth. The last slide appeared behind me. A photo of the three of us, me, Hannah, and Troy, taken at the same cabin 2 summers ago. Smiling. Before they killed that version of me. Troy's face drained. Hannah dropped her glass. And for the first time in 10 years, no one said a word. Not a gasp. Not a question. Just silence. It spread through the room like smoke. Thick. Suffocating. The kind that makes people hold their breath even when they know it's already too late. Troy looked like a man waking up mid-nightmare. Pale. Jaw clenched. He took one shaky step forward, like he was going to say something. He didn't. Because what could he say? That it wasn't what it looked like. That it just happened. He'd been caught with her lips on his and my wine in his hand, in the one place that was supposed to be sacred. No apology would make that cabin clean again. Hannah wasn't crying. Not yet. Her mouth opened, closed, like she was buffering. Her eyes darted across the room. Her parents. Julie. My brother. Laura. Oh God, Laura. She was standing near the back, shaking. Not crying either. Just watching them like something inside her had shattered too hard to fall apart all at once. Laura. Troy finally said, reaching toward her. She flinched, stepped back like his hand was a weapon. Then she turned and walked out. Didn't say a word. Didn't even look at me. That somehow hurt more than if she'd screamed. Hannah tried next. Nathan, please, can we just... I held up my hand. Didn't even look at her. Just turned to the crowd, raised my glass, and said, Happy anniversary. Then I set it down, walked through the middle of the room, and opened the door. Not a single person stopped me. Not even my own mother. And that's how I knew it worked. Not the slideshow. Not the camera tricks. The silence. Because silence? Silence is what follows truth. Her boss called the next day. So did her parents. So did his girlfriend. Everyone wanted to know, why didn't you tell us? Because if I had, they would have warned her. They would have begged me to take the high road. To protect her reputation. To talk instead of show. But I'd taken the high road for 10 years. And all it got me was a front row seat to my own humiliation. The fallout hit fast. By noon Friday, Julie, her boss, had left 3 voicemails. The third one wasn't as polite. Nathan, I need you to call me back. This thing has gotten out of hand. The client from Beacon Marketing was at that party last night. They saw everything. Hannah's position is vulnerable. Vulnerable. That's corporate code for screwed. I never called her back. Then her dad rang. He tried to play mediator. Son, I don't condone what she did. But that was our daughter up there. You humiliated her. I let him talk. Let him fill the silence with words like dignity and private matters and what's best for everyone. Then I said, calmly, what's best for everyone is truth. And hung up. Troy's girlfriend Laura didn't call. She showed up. At my house. Saturday morning. Eyes red, voice steady. I just wanted to say thank you, she said, standing on my front porch, for not letting me waste another year. I didn't know what to say. She pulled something from her purse, a ring box. Found it in his glove compartment, she said. He was going to propose next month. She set it down on the porch rail. Not anymore. Then she turned, walked back to her car, and left. Sunday, the headlines started. Not tabloids. Not gossip blogs. LinkedIn. Someone leaked the footage. Maybe Julie. Maybe one of the guests. Maybe someone just forwarded it to the wrong inbox. Didn't matter. It spread. Hannah Harper, marketing exec involved in viral cheating video scandal. They even pulled stills from the slideshow. One of her kissing Troy. Another of her raising her champagne glass, frozen mid-toast. That one got memed. Troy lost his job, too. The bar where he worked? Family-owned. His boss was his cousin. The kind of guy who believes in loyalty and reputation. When a customer showed him the video, he didn't even call Troy. Just sent him a text. Don't come back. I stayed quiet. No social posts. No interviews. No responses. Just silence. I spent the weekend rebuilding. Not the house. That was fine. Me. If you want to avoid court, I said, you'll sign. She stood on my porch like a stranger. Hair tied back. Puffy eyes. Clothes that didn't fit her usual curated image. She looked small. Not broken. Just smaller than I remembered her being. I just want to talk, she said. I opened the door, but didn't step aside. You have 2 minutes. She held out a manila folder. Her hands were trembling. What is it? I asked. Papers, she said. Divorce. Mutual. No lawyers. I didn't even look at them. No. She blinked. What do you mean, no? I've already filed, I said, stepping outside and closing the door behind me. With a lawyer. A damn good one. She looked down at the folder, like it might start burning. You don't have to make this ugly. I tilted my head. You already did. I handed her a separate envelope. Inside, full divorce papers, prepared by my attorney. A complete asset breakdown. Screenshots of every charge to our joint accounts during her time at the cabin. A clause outlining emotional distress and reputational damages. And right on top, a list of what I was keeping. The house, the cabin, the car. Full ownership of our joint investment account. I left her with the clothes she brought into the marriage and whatever dignity she could still carry. I'll fight this, she said, voice sharp now. You can't just take everything. I leaned in. Calm. You committed adultery. In our home. With my best friend. On camera. In front of half your office. I smiled. You want to bring that into court? Be my guest. Her face crumpled. Not into tears. Just defeat. What do you want from me, Nathan? I want peace. She scoffed. After all this, you expect peace? No, I said. Not for you. She didn't sign that day. But 3 days later, the papers came back, signed, initialed, notarized. And just like that, 10 years ended with a pen stroke. I wasn't sad. Not anymore. I was free. The cabin is quiet now. Peaceful. It's been a month. The snow came early this year, soft and thick, blanketing the deck like it was tucking the place in for winter. The air smells like pine and ash. Inside, the fire crackles. A glass of whiskey sits untouched on the table. And me? I'm here. Alone. Finally. The place looks different now. I got rid of everything she touched. The old flannel throw? Gone. The candles she picked? Tossed. That little corner of the bedroom where her hair ties used to pile up like fallen leaves? Empty. I even burned the bed frame. Built a new one myself. It creaks less. Sleeps better. I didn't bring music this time. Didn't need noise. Sometimes healing isn't about distractions. It's about sitting with the silence until it stops echoing her name. And tonight, there's no echo. I thought revenge would feel louder. I imagined chaos, screaming, slammed doors. Maybe even guilt. But what I got was better. Stillness. Justice doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. In courtrooms. In text messages she'll never send again. In the way her name disappears from the mailbox. In how her shadow doesn't follow me through the hall anymore. The camera system's still up. Old habit, maybe. Or maybe I just like knowing this place is mine. All mine. So when the alert buzzed tonight, motion detected, back porch, I didn't panic. I walked over. Opened the feed. Just the wind. A branch shifting. A fox darting past the stairs. I smiled. But I didn't turn off the alert. Because the truth? Part of me wanted it to be her. To see me like this. Standing tall. Standing calm. Standing whole. I raised my glass to the empty room. To 10 years, I said. Then I drank. Let the silence wrap around me like a blanket. Let the cabin hold me in the way she never could. Let it end right here, where everything fell apart, and where I finally began again.